We may have some flurries in a couple of areas to the northeast and to a lesser extent to the southeast as we head through the night. Cloud cover also increases a little bit as well. Lows will be mainly in the 20s as we go into your day on Wednesday, where we'll keep an eye on a little bit of snow in the evening. Rather, I should say Thursday, we'll see a few evening flurries towards Sioux Falls. Better chance for snow up in northeastern KELOLAND, where we actually have a winter weather advisory in place for some. We'll talk about that and the rest of your forecast. Of course, we'll have updates on the weekend outlook as well. First at 4 starts right now.
Live from KELOLAND Media Group. KELOLAND News, first at 4.
A Canadian man will spend the next 4 years in federal prison for a crime committed at the Sturgis motorcycle rally. We have an update on an Amber Alert case.
Plus, getting food to Ecuadorian migrants in need in Minneapolis, how nonprofits are trying to help. And
later, the U.S. has seen measles outbreaks across the country. What you need to know about the virus if you're going to be traveling. Good afternoon, and thanks for tuning in to First at 4. I'm Don Jorgensen.
And I'm Bridget Bennett. We have an update to a child pornography and Amber Alert case we first told you about during the 2023 Sturgis motorcycle rally. A federal judge sentenced 52-year-old Benjamin Moore to 4 years and 4 months in federal prison. He was also given 5 years of supervised release and must register as a sex offender.
Court documents say that Benjamin Moore illegally crossed the U.S. border near Turner, Montana, with a woman and children on August 3rd. 6 days later, Moore was working as a security guard at a campground east of Sturgis during the motorcycle rally. A man camping next to them later reported the family to the campground security. We spoke with the man who reported Moore after it happened. You can find that story on KELOLAND.com.
The Sioux Falls woman whose South Dakota massage license has been revoked must now pay for her disciplinary hearing. Haleen Zhang will be billed over $1,075 for the hearing by the State Board of Massage Therapy. The board will give her 90 days to pay by cash or certified check. She also can set up a 12-month payment plan. Zhang operated Go Spa in the Empire Mall. Her license was revoked for 1 year because she allowed an unlicensed person to work at the business. KELOLAND's Bob Mercer has been following the story since it began. You can find those reports on the Capitol News Bureau page on KELOLAND.com.
A recent Sioux Falls School District report outlines plans to shift some school boundaries. These proposals come ahead of plans to build a new elementary school on the northwest side of the city, as well as the planned construction of a new Whittier Middle School. You can find the proposed boundary changes as well as an update on the timeline for the Whittier project in a KELOLAND.com original by Jacob Newton online now.
If you've been outside at all today, it looks beautiful from the inside looking out.
Yeah, again, the wind is making it feel so much cooler than it really is.
And also, just in general, it is noticeably chillier compared to what we had yesterday, where technically spring started at the tail end of your Tuesday. Now we're in the first full day of spring. And of course, it doesn't feel like spring because we can't have nice things. Here is Eureka, 29 degrees. And yes, you are seeing some flurries go across the screen there. 29 with a southeast wind at 7 miles per hour. We're not seeing that downtown, though. Nice blue sky above, 38 at the airport, northeast wind at 6 miles per hour. This was yesterday's high temperature spread. 50s, 60s, near 70 degrees. This will be perfect for the first full day of spring. Instead, this is what we have. 27 right now in Aberdeen as well as Watertown, 31 for Brookings, 32 in Pierre, 29 in Faith, 36 for Winter. We do have some 40s, though, out toward the hills, 45 in Spearfish and Custer, 47 Rapid City, and the outlier, Pine Ridge, right now sitting at 54 degrees. So there are those flurries making their way through the Mobridge and Eureka area. Wouldn't be surprised if toward Aberdeen maybe saw a couple of flakes within the next about hour or so, but we're not looking at much from at least this particular batch of moisture. Rather, we have a lot more to unpack as we go through the next about 5 or so days. This is kind of the leading edge, if you will, of what we're going to be watching, even just in the short term for what we have coming up tomorrow going into early Friday morning. Speaking of tomorrow, highs do take a step forward to the southeast, 40s and a couple of 50s, the latter toward Mitchell, Wagner, Yankton, and even near Orange City, Iowa. To the northeast, we'll still see 30s from Aberdeen to Sisseton, Watertown, and Canby, near 50 toward Miller and Huron, with those snow showers developing, especially later in the day. Out to the west, however, 40s, if not around 40 toward the North Dakota border. But notice the spread as we get down to the mid to upper 60s in southwestern South Dakota. Then things get interesting. We'll talk about the rest of your forecast as we head through the hour.
Okay, thanks a lot, Adam. Yesterday at 4:30, we told you about the hundreds of people from Ecuador going to Minnesota to seek asylum. Many of them gather on Lake Street in Minneapolis, hoping to find temporary work. And that's just one of the challenges that they face once they get there. This afternoon, David Schumann looks at a group stepping in to help where they can.
12, 12.
Mark knows enough Spanish to call out for the first few people in line with tickets, but the numbers at the weekly Minnehaha food shelf quickly get too high for him.
We today will feed about 320 households.
God is providing good for our family today. I got potatoes, onions, milk, cooking oil. These groceries last for 1 or 2 weeks.
We got potatoes, cooking oil, eggs, milk, toilet paper, laundry soap, and I'm bringing groceries for 6 members in my family.
George Gallagher, the food shelf's manager, says most of the clients who come here week after week are immigrants from Ecuador.
First off, we didn't have the right foods to give them because we didn't have beans and citrus and a lot of those things. And these folks don't eat tacos, you know, they like fruits and vegetables, and they go through a lot of potatoes.
Minnesota's immigration court has nearly 2,000 pending cases from Ecuador alone. We've spoken to several of them who say they left because of danger there and are now here seeking asylum. But by law, asylum seekers can't get a work permit for at least several months, putting immigrants in a limbo where they struggle to make money working inconsistent, odd jobs.
We don't want to cause problems for the city. We always try to do things well. That's why we want to work, to pay for our own food, and to bring it to our family. I don't have work currently. It's been 6 months since we got here.
It's a difficult situation with no easy answers, and the food shelf volunteers know how important their work is.
This can take a while, you know, and waiting to get through this so they can go off to their other jobs that they're taking care of, the roofing, the gardening, the things that a lot of people just don't do anymore.
With photojournalist Ari Mendoza, David Schumann, WCCO News.
Some of the food is paid for with federal funding, but much of the cost falls on the food shelf. One day, the bill for that came in at roughly $3,000. It's why they rely heavily on donations from the public.
Minnesota State University Moorhead is creating a tuition-free scholarship program for students from North Dakota and South Dakota. The university-funded initiative expands the North Star Promise Scholarship, which provides financial assistance to families making less than $80,000 a year. Beginning in the fall of 2024, the scholarship will be available to new entering first-year and transfer students from North and South Dakota that are eligible.
The paychecks for some Minnesotans could be in for a big boost. A plan at the Capitol would raise minimum wage to $15 an hour starting this summer, and then even more in the years to come. The plan would increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour starting in August, and then there'd be a $1.25 boost each year until 2028. When $20 an hour would be the new pay floor. Opponents of the plan are concerned, though, that the raises would increase costs for goods and services across the state.